Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Hello again. I guess we have time. We've gotten into our TARDIS, and we are fast forwarding a week. I am Nick from the Phoenix Press. I have literally sat here for an entire week. Jared, how are you feeling after sitting in that chair for an entire week?
It's clobbering time.
You have been holding that one in.
You know what I'm referring to in this episode, right? Yes, you have to title this episode Aang Becomes the Thing.
I know exactly.
No, Aang becomes Hellboy because he's got the arm.
Actually, no, like it's gonna be like that shot.
Yeah.
But like it's gonna be Aang becomes the thing, and the thing is like, and the thumbnail tag is gonna be it's clobbering time.
Yes.
And I'm gonna put the thing's face over Aang.
Yes. Yes. By the way, I was holding that in all throughout this recording. I was like, get to the end so I can make this joke.
I swear, if we held it in anymore, you would have just burst from the scene.
It's
mud
time.
spewing everywhere.
Yeah, rock spewing everywhere. But yeah, that was the one thing. When I was watching this episode, I was like, oh man, it's really on the nose right about now.
Yeah, so we're in part 2 of this video, and we have literally been sitting here all week, just sitting in our spots, ready to talk about the drill, which is part 2 of this 2-parter. And so basically they're breaching the walls of Ba Sing Se. Well, they got the Ba Sing Se. They're the Fire Nation drill, and leading the whole party is we got Ozai's Angels back in the house.
Or as I like to call them, the Avatar Female Furies.
We can agree to disagree on that naming, but yeah.
That's what they are!
No, they're Ozai's Angels.
In terms of DC, that's what they are. I'm trying to associate it, Nick.
Fine, you can call them whatever the frick you want. I'll call them Ozai's Angels. It's all good, brother. So, Ozai's Angels are here.
The Female Furies. Okay, I'm following you.
Civil War.
This is going to be our new war now. We resolved the shipping war. Now it's the Female Furies versus Ozai's Angels war.
They're the same people.
I know.
All right. Yeah. So, what do you think about like what's your overall thoughts on this episode?
Very action packed. I dug this episode a lot. Action was great. The animation was great. It felt a lot like a mission of Halo when you fight the Scarab and you have to go in and like find its weak points. Or it's like when you play like any of those games where you're fighting a giant boss like Darksiders and you have to aim for all the weak points in order to take down the giant boss.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, I think you might be thinking of.
Well, it's also Darksiders where you have to do that.
There's a lot of games
There's
like
a lot
that,
of games where you have to do that. Any Lego game.
So what you're saying is attack the weak spot for massive damage.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's a good point, Nick.
I just like I'm trying to like I'm actually thinking like, is there an episode with a giant enemy crab? Because I so want to just do that line.
No, what you got to do with that is put up, I'll have 4 Krabby Patties.
I'm not a SpongeBob person, so anyway,
or title it Aang Gets Crabs.
I like being monetized, or I like the possibility of being monetized.
All right. But
Jared, you're supposed to be my mentor here. You're supposed to tell me what to do.
One thing, actually, and this may affect the grade of this episode. There's one small like point of dialogue. It could be I misheard it, so I want to run this by you. So when the rebel dude I call the Bad Batch people. Yeah, when they talk to Sokka and he goes, okay, when I saw your scar, I recognized you. You should stay with us, and because we're both outcasts. Then when he finds out they're firebenders, screw them. And I'm like, wait a second here. You knew if you recognized who he was, you would already know he's a firebender.
All right. Let me kind of explain that whole situation.
Okay,
so
good.
the way the back and forth really went was, when I saw your scar, I recognize you for exactly who you are. ... An outsider.
Okay. It could be.
Basically,
there you go. I misheard it.
This is what's going on in Jet's mind. Jet's mind, he sees a scar. It's obviously a burn scar. So in his mind, because he's assuming all these people are Earth Kingdom.
In his mind, this person was tortured by the Fire Nation.
Exactly. Because like the very thought of like anyone but Earth Kingdom, and someone having a burn scar in the Earth Kingdom, that is perfect. That is a perfectly reasonable thing to like you could assume that happened because you see that they're a victim of the Fire Nation, obviously.
Okay. In that case, it's not going to affect my grade because I misheard it.
Because if you just look at his actions, like he was still trying to recruit him right up until he saw that Iroh heated his tea.
Well,
like,
and remember,
it was only
Nick,
then when he did that 180.
All right, Nick, it's no use crying over spilled tea. I got that joke immediately. I got that immediately when they said it.
You want to know what's funny? Because it's tea, there's actually a good possibility it has milk in it. So he's still crying over spilt milk.
That's so good. I love that.
Like literally when I heard that line, that's what I thought. Like, there's probably milk in that. So he's probably still crying over spilt milk.
Yeah.
Also, he called him like the fact that they're still using like the code names, like his name is Mushi. What did you think about like the moment where he started flirting with the attendant and like she just totally went for it?
I was like, well, this is consistent with these characters throughout the entire.
I mean, what is an uncle if he does not embarrass his nephew?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we've all been there where like the parent figure has embarrassed the hell out of us.
Like Zuko's reaction is like so relatable.
He's like, shut up. He's like, stop it.
It's like I wish my father was here to give me another scar because that sounds a lot more pleasurable than what I'm witnessing right now.
Yeah, he's like, kill me now.
Yes, like.
But so we,
Iroh, can we talk about maybe doing some lightning redirection practicing again?
I also love where the commander is like, don't worry, Aang, we don't need you. I sent in the SEAL Team 6 of Earthbenders. They get wiped out. Hey, Aang, can you come and help us out with this drill?
Oh yeah, there's another moment like towards the end where he's like, hey guys, will you please stop chucking rocks? And he's like, keep chucking rocks, everybody.
I know, I love that part. That was awesome.
The comedic timing's really.
By the way,
really good.
And this episode really reminded me of that episode of the Clone Wars. I know this came up before Clone Wars, but I'm just saying what reminded me of stuff that I've seen. Of that episode, we have that giant. We have General Grievous's giant cruiser, and Anakin and Obi-Wan and Padme have to go inside to take it out from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this reminded me of. They get in the middle. They get in battles within the ship. The female Furies show up and wreck shop. Yes, we're gonna mess with Nick. That. And then Aang is exposed to cosmic radiation and becomes the Thing. I'm sorry, it looked like the Thing's fist.
It does. I would not be surprised if that was like their intention to do that reference.
I'm trying to find it in the trivia section on here. It's not saying anything about it.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. Do you got any trivia for? Let's kind of make it for lost time. Can you pull up the trivia for Servant's Pass as well? This will be part of the second episode, but like we kind of didn't do the first episode, so I want to make it for lost time.
All right, trivia for this. All right, let me look up one that sounds interesting for that. The original idea for this episode were a band of performers would play out the prior events of the story. It came as a pitch from writer Tim Hedrick, with the writers later incorporating the premise as a lead-in to the series finale.
Oh no, that's the wrong episode. You're way in the future. That's Ember Island Players. That's
wrong one. Hang on, I have to.
Dude, you're like a season and a half ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Which,
where-
by the way, that's actually a really good episode. By the way, so just letting you know.
Yeah. I'm trying. Where was
I
it?
love how just based off the trivia, I told you exactly what episode.
Yeah,
it was.
exactly. You know what? Now let's skip to the other one because it'll take me too long to find the page.
All right, and then while we're talking about it, you can look up the other one.
Yeah. At the end, okay, yeah. At the end of the episode, he calls them the Boomerang Squad, the Aang Gang, which I loved. Just like the Aang Gang sounds like Chain Gang. The fearsome foursome that reminded me a lot of the Spider-Man team, the Sinister Six.
I mean,
There's so many Marvel references in these two episodes. It's ridiculous.
It is. It really is.
It's there would be Team Avatar would never catch on. I love that where she's like, the Team Avatar, that'll never work.
I mean, to be fair, they knew it would catch on because the whole team thing was actually like, for anyone who's not old like me, I swear I enact the old card every episode. But in the late 2000s, like there was a lot of teams. There's like Team Edward, Team Jacob. If you're a Buffy fan, there's like Team Spike, like Team Angel. So like for them to be a Team Aang in the late 2000s, that was like a very like natural course of how to label things.
Team Jacob.
I honestly don't. I'm not a twihard, so I honestly don't care.
I'm not either. I just wanted to see that brief moment of cringe.
Now, if we're talking
found the trivia.
If we're talking Buffy, I am Team Spike.
Yeah. So
he has no idea what I'm talking about.
I have no idea. Full Moon Bay pokes fun at the atmosphere of a modern day airport, mocking their strict security, stolen luggage, difficult employees, etc. I love that. Yes, that's fantastic.
Or like how you can bribe the guard by showing that you're rich.
Yes, this episode marks Jet's first appearance since Jet, and he is chewing on a piece of wheat rather than a twig. Hang on.
He's upgraded.
So Sokka kisses Suki twice in this episode, once to silence her and later to confirm that he loves her. Okay, there you go. Katara's parting the waters at the gate makes Moses parting the Red Sea. Immediately got that. It would be even more if she just like if they had to carry her and she was just doing this the entire time. Aang and the others reach the gates of the Serpent's Pass. They notice the words "abandon all hope." This is it said this could be a reference to the words that appear at the gates of hell in Dante's the Divine Comedy.
It is because the gates say "abandon all hope, all ye who enter." So it is 100% a reference to Dante's Inferno. 100%.
So back to the drill episode. The events pertaining to this episode would be referenced in Ember Island Players. They go, that's the preview trivia I gave. It's interesting to note that based on the apparent hydraulic components of the drill, simply sabotaging the hydraulic system by busting the numerous pipes and valves would have brought the drill to a halt much faster than the wildly inefficient strategy the team employs.
To be fair, in their defense,
they didn't know that.
They know nothing about hydraulics.
But that is fun. I love the savagery of the wiki page.
In their defense, they know nothing about hydraulics, so I give them a pass.
In the Indonesian version of this episode, Toph is really afraid when she creates and enters a hole under the drill, as opposed to her English counterpart where she mocks Sokka.
I love how like she uses the fact that she's blind. It's like, like I love I just like I gotta give a shout out to Sokka's voice actor. Where like the way he says sorry afterwards is just such great comedic timing.
Here's a good one. The events pertaining to this episode will be referencing Ember Island Players. Hang on, I gotta go on with this. When the scene cuts to the audience, many people are either nodding off or falling asleep, alleging to the lukewarm reception this episode had with the fan base.
Lukewarm? Like the water in the drill?
Or like the spilled tea/milk?
Moving on.
Yes, thank you. How's it feel, Nick?
It does not feel good.
And this episode reveals Katara can heal wounds. She cannot heal someone whose chi has been blocked. So somehow Katara can heal people.
I mean, come on. Like we knew that like like waterbenders could heal, and like we saw that she had that, like literally Zhang Zhan says you have the gift for healing in like season 1. So like we knew that Katara could heal as early as like midway through season 1. So it like treating this like it's a new thing. Like even the show doesn't treat it like it's a new thing. So like I'm kind of confused why that trivia is there.
One more. This episode marks the first time an actual person has defeated Ty Lee. Prior to this, only Appa had managed to defeat her. But
Appa,
anyway,
I miss you.
Anyway, I love this. I'm surprised no one thought to label them as the Fantastic Four. I'm saying no one recommended that. They even have the thing arm.
Okay.
You have a possible other title for this episode is the Fantastic Four.
It wouldn't be the first time that I've used the Fantastic Four in a thumbnail for this very show. Because if you remember in season 1, I literally did a Fantastic Four thing. So, like, it wouldn't be the first time.
We've done many comic book things in the show, like with Batman and all this.
I've called Sokka Batman. I've called Toph Batman.
You called Zuko Batman.
By the way, I'm letting you know, there is an episode in season 3 where the title will be Is Katara Batman? Like, I am letting you know right now. And when you watch the episode, you will totally understand.
Technically, you could have also titled the past episode as Aang Batman, because Aang was interrogating those people like Batman.
Where is he?
Where is he? Where's Appa? Where you've taken Appa? I would just imagine Christian Bale saying Appa in that voice. And so,
oh my god,
Appa, yip yip. It's so
all right.
Good.
It's clear that we're going a little bit stir crazy here. We've been sitting here a week. Jared, I think we both need to go stretch our legs a little
10
bit.
out of 10 for this episode. 10 out of 10. Action was great. Marvel references was on point. Humor was great. All the like moral implications of this episode were really, really cool. And I like seeing the female Furies again.
For me, this gets a 9 out of 10. It's a good episode, but it's kind of a one-trick pony. Like, it's got great action, but it doesn't really advance the characters or the story that much. It doesn't really have those good, like, character interaction moments that I really dig. It's still a good episode. It's still a really good episode, but I can't give it, like, a 9.5. Servant's Pass is 9.5 just because it has everything. But this is a 9.0 for me. So we're a little bit disagreement on this, and that's fine.
It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong.
That is my line. How dare you? All right. So before we go, let me just
So I just want to say, so by the time this goes live, I just want to make sure you guys are aware that I collabed with Comics Explained. So make sure to go check that out on my channel. Yes, I hooked that up because he literally randomly showed up in the chat on Taladia's channel, and we communicated. So, but by the time this episode goes live,
that is a really big get, and I am proud of you, brother.
Thank you. It was a great conversation.
So, okay. So the next episode is City of Walls and Secrets, where we'll be in Ba Sing Se, and I'm letting you know the next few episodes are gonna kind of play out like a spy thriller. Like basically we're talking like Manchurian Candidate, like we're talking like the Earth King has invited you to Lake Logai. Also, like I'm just saying phrases that like the fandom knows. There is no war.
Orange. I was literally about to say. So you're telling me there's no war in Ba Sing Se.
So I'm telling you, Jared, like we're like I'm saying, it is just uphill from here. So we got City of Walls and Secrets next. After that, we got two really, really heartbreaking episodes. We got Tales of Ba Sing Se, which leaves from the vine, and then after that we have Appa's Lost Days. Which, oh my God, Jared, that will tell your heartstrings. And then like, yeah. And so, and so from there. So Jared, thank you for this journey. And we're closing in on the end of season 2. So it's really great. So I'm just going to say, I am Nick from the Phoenix Press. And remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it.
I look forward to more of the adventures of Aang.